Hello there reason people, PoohBear here and welcome to my channel. And today we're going to be looking at a sustain switch, or pedal shall I say, and we're going to turn it into more of a latch sort of switch. At the moment, as you can see, when it's open, this particular pedal is actually sending out 127 on the CC, and there we are, we're at number 8. When I hold it down, it goes down to 0. Yeah, so what we want to do is I want to be able to press it once and it's going to stay at 1, and then when I press it again it can go to 8. But we're also going to take it one step further. We're going to set it up in such a way that we can cycle through things, and this will also apply to your Midi controller. So buttons on your Midi controller, rather than just being on or off, we're going to have them, you can use this method as well. So when I press it once, it's going to go to 1. When I press it again, we can get it to go, say, number 6. Press it again, it comes back to 3. Press it again, it goes to 8, and so on and so forth. So we can control that as well. And obviously, as I say, this CV select switch is purely here for demonstration purposes only. This works obviously against instruments, against players, effects, utilities and VSTs as well. So it's not just limited to one or two things. And as I say, with the switching, we could actually switch through the different filter types, so on the subtractor, and we don't actually have to switch through them in order. We can switch through them in the way that we wish to. So let's get going and let's set this up first of all. So when I press this once, it's going to stay there once. So the first thing I'm going to drag it in is a good old Thor, and believe it or not, I've just dragged the wrong screen. So here we go. I always do that. So here we go. So I'm going to drag in a Thor, and I'm going to hold down the shift key when I create it, because I don't want any mixed channels created or anything else. So I'm just going to right click it and click on reset. What I'm going to do now is click on the show programmer, scroll it all the way down, because this is the area that we're interested in. We're only interested really in the sequencer area. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is flip to the back. I'm going to take the curve out and I'm going to go into the in. Okay, it works quite well on the CV select, but I'll show you how we can get it to work on all other devices. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn on the step, so we just want it onto step. If you're wishing to go hit your button faster than 1/16 of a beat, then you need to take that timing down, but we're not interested in doing that really. I'm going to take this down to the curve, so we're now on the curve setting, and we're only interested in 2 to start with. And I'm going to take this down to 0, and if you noticed, that's now gone down to 1, and as I push this one up to the top, it's going to come up to 8. So there we go, that's part of it's calibrated. And all I need to do now is I'm going to right click on this and click edit remote override, and I thought that might happen. There we go, bring it into screen. I'm going to press on my pedal, there it is, it's picked it up, and I'm going to click OK. I've actually already got it assigned, so I'm just going to say yes to replacing it. So now when I hit it, we're at 1 and I've let go, and again I'm going to hit it again, and now we're at 8. 1 and 8. Quite simple really, isn't it? In fact, and as I said, let's take that one step further. So we're now going to have 4 steps, and I want step number 2 to be 6. That's what I said earlier. So I'm just going to bring this down, and you can see the lights come down because it's calibrated. When I start to push this one, I'm going to bring this down to 3. There we go, it's now on 3, and I'm going to push this one up to 8. Excellent. So now I've hit the switch and I've let go. We're on number 1, number 6, number 3, and there we go to number 8. Really simple. That is the basic calibration. So how can we now get this to work with something like the subtractor? It's very straightforward. I'm going to take the subtractor, right click, and I'm actually going to select combine. Sorry, it's gone off the screen, but all I've done is literally combine the subtractor up. I haven't done anything else. I'm going to click on the show programmer, flip to the back, and what we want to do now is take, in fact, let me just take that wire out altogether. I'm going to take the curve one out, and we're going to put it into CV1. The other thing to do is we're going to make it a unipolar signal. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is flip round to the front, click on obviously in the particular case it says bass guitar, but it's a subtractor, and we can select ourselves the CV1. Now we can assign it to what we wish. The example I gave earlier was we're going to assign it up to the filter type. There it is, there's the filter type. So there we go, we assigned it to filter type. So now, when I click my button, you can see it's saying that we're on the low pass at the moment. I'll click the button, we've gone up to a notch. We've now gone to a low pass 12. And we've gone to a high pass. I'll flip it once more, and now we're back down to that low pass. And if I click on show programming, and hopefully if I collapse this one down, so we hide that a little bit, we can now see our controls again. And if you watch here, so as I bring, say, this knob down, you can see the lights are changing. So this is how I can actually calibrate it up and say, well, where do I wish to go? I want to go to a high pass. And in fact, this one here, actually I want to, there we go, we've gone to a band pass filter. That one was on a high pass, so I'm going to bring that one down to a high pass filter. There we go. So I've now changed the order of what they're going from. So we're going from a notch up to a low pass 24, down to a band pass, and to a high pass. Yeah, and that's how we can actually configure it. Now don't forget, with the Thor we can even go further, because we're not just limited to curve 1. We've actually got curve 1, we've got curve 2, and don't forget note data, that's just CV. I know we call it note, and I know that if I actually put this onto note, we're actually looking, and it's saying C3. And remember, if you do use a note for CV, you need to change your octave to full. If not, you're going to be restricting your CV signal. So now we can actually calibrate this up, and let's say, or I can't remember what I had for my filters, in which order, but for example, I'm actually going to have the filter quite open there. And on this particular filter, I'm going to close it down. On this filter, I'm going to do a little bit more open again. And I don't know what the last one was, so I'm going to bring it quite low. And I'm now going to just flip to the back of the rack. I'm going to take the note data and put that into CV2. So I need to do, sorry, show programming again. The problem is I'm working on a very tight screen here. So there we go, CV2. And again, I'm going to make that unipolar as well. So now down here, and if I bring that up, there we go, I can select CV2, and I'm actually going to go from my filter type, there we go, frequency. So now, as I'm clicking the button, not only are we changing the filter type, we're going to change the filter frequency as well. Yeah. And also in here, if I wanted to, obviously I can point that CV1 to somewhere else. And also, as I say on the Thor, we've still got curve 2 we haven't used. So, you know, one click of a button, we can change multiple things. And that's also true, as I say, of your MIDI keyboard. If you want to reassign one of your buttons on there, you can now start changing multiple things. I think I've covered everything. So, thank you for watching, and bye for now.